again, and welcome back to another Benidorm and Beyond news update. And today I can report more good news regarding the restrictions being eased yet again. The Valencian government, which controls the Benidorm area, have today released the latest update in COVID-19 measures. These were announced by Ximo Puig, the president, in a press conference this morning, accompanied by the Minister of Health, Ana Barceló. These measures take effect from Tuesday the 8th of June and will last until the end of the month. As we were hoping for, again, there have been further relaxations in the rules. The main points are as follows. Bars and restaurants may now open until 1 o'clock in the morning, with terraces continuing to be allowed to be full to 100% of their capacity and inside spaces allowed to be filled to 50%. The maximum number of people permitted per table is 10. Places of worship will no longer have a limitation on capacity at all. The night curfew will be completely abolished, meaning we will now be free to come and go any time of day and night as we please, allowing complete freedom of movement again. Also, there is no longer a limit on the amount of people gathering for either social or family meetings in both public or private spaces, except of course when they're in bars, restaurants or similar establishments. The use of masks, social distancing and adequate ventilation are still recommended. Nightclubs and similar venues can now reopen again and stay open until as late as 2 a.m. with a maximum capacity of 50% indoors and 100% on terraces. However, dancing is still not permitted. The President pointed out that, after a progressive and prudent reopening that has proven its effectiveness, the Valencian community has consolidated a unique health situation that allows taking a new step forward. Since, for 11 weeks, we have maintained the lowest incidence rate in Spain, that being some 3.5 times lower than the state average. The region therefore ends the curfew, which has been enforced for 7.5 months, responding to the commitment that this limitation should not remain in place one day longer than necessary. The President remarked, "It has been a definitive instrument to control the virus, but as of next week, freedom of movement returns." With regards to the gradual and progressive opening of nightlife, he said that in this way we have the hope of reaching July in the best conditions. With the celebrations of San Juan, or Las Hogueras, on the horizon towards the end of the month, the President has announced that decisions regarding these fiestas will be transferred to the local town councils, but it is recommended that they limit the celebrations and other festive events of a similar nature in order to avoid crowds. All the announced measures are taking into account that the incidence rate has dropped by 70%, the beds occupied by people sick with COVID-19 have gone from 9% to 1%, and that the ICUs have 10 times fewer patients. In fact, since January, deaths have fallen by 93%, although Ximo Puig has nevertheless asked for caution, given that the lifting of restrictions is having its effect on the rebound in infections. He said, "We are entering a period of hope, with the approach of summer, with good prospects for recovery, and with the deployment already underway of more than 1,000 million euros in direct aid, and above all, with vaccination as our greatest asset." He pointed out that this week there will be 3 million administered doses and that the most vulnerable people have protection. He ended the conference by expressing his confidence in young people and in the whole of Valencian society, which he states has not featured in the images of impudence that have been seen in other places before the end of the restrictions. For this reason, he has asked everyone to continue working in the same direction to achieve overcoming the pandemic and social, economic and emotional recovery. All this seems like another step in the right direction, and before long we hope to be back to normal, with the resort buzzing with international tourists enjoying themselves and the bars and restaurants and cabaret bars full again as we would expect them to be. Obviously, this will all depend on what each country allows their citizens to do regards travel restrictions, etc. But at least for the moment, there is increased activity in the resort as the Spanish arrive in their thousands, ready to enjoy the summer and their newfound freedom. Benidorm awaits you, and we hope to see you soon. Cheers!